What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. How the hell's your day going, by the way? This is Logical Response. We cover political news. We keep you up to date and keep you informed on everything the government is doing because they're always doing some underhanded stuff sometimes. So we try to stay on top of that stuff and stay informed. So if you're interested in that, smash that subscribe button for me if you don't mind. Turn on your notifications. Also, that'll help. And if you could, do me a big favor right away, right before we get started. If you could, look below the video and smash that like button for me. It is a big help. It really does. It helps the channel a lot. It helps with the algorithm. Watching the whole video helps too. Leave a comment. Let me know how you feel about this because I know people have opinions, so we all want to share our opinion. Hell, that's what I'm doing. We reading the news and we give an opinion on it and see what the hell people are thinking, right? So we all know that the mainstream narrative machine, you know, the mainstream media, they're constantly covering up for Biden. I mean, they hid the Hunter Biden laptop story. They pushed that back. Oh, no, that's just Russian disinformation. They're constantly, you know, trying to prop up Joe Biden, saying, oh, well, he's not incompetent. He's not getting old when he falls down. Well, all presidents fall down, right? And they just constantly covering for him. But if you've noticed in recent weeks, possibly about a month or so, maybe a little bit longer, they're not covering for him as much anymore. You know, we're starting to see CNN push back. Well, not MSNBC. I don't think they ever will, but we're starting to see the media push back against the Biden administration. They're starting to see the writing on the wall, essentially. The guy's old, he's incompetent, he's not capable, his mental faculties are falling apart rapidly. They've been doing that. I mean, shoot, his 2019 campaign for president, he hid in his basement the whole time, and the media constantly ran cover for him. But we're starting to get progress with this, folks. They can no longer deny the fact that Biden, his mental faculties are failing. And it's sad to see. You know, we all fear this, right? Unfortunately, a lot of us are going to go through that. And it sucks. And with Robert Hur's report coming out saying, oh, well, he shouldn't stand trial because he's got a poor memory and he's just a doddering old man. Wait, so you're saying that he's not competent to stand trial, and yet he's still in the White House? It's either one or the other. He can't be not competent to stand trial and still be competent enough to run the country, the leader of the free world. He's falling apart, folks, and they're starting to see it. So they're starting to be like, look, we can't do this anymore. We're pushing back, and we got a pretty good story. They do everything they can to leave Joe Biden in a positive light, but this story coming from CNN, they actually burn Joe Biden in this, and it's great. And I got to bring it to you. Let's get into it right quick. Check this out, y'all. Biden says Republicans in Congress are worse than former segregationist senator. Yeah, because they're all racists, right? That's something that with the left and the Democrats, they love to do. Oh, this is one of their favorite things to do because for some reason, it works with a lot of people. A lot of people will just bloop. Oh, well, he must be racist then. They did it to Trump real bad. There's people till this day that will still argue with you that Trump is a racist. Even though that is like one of the most ridiculous premises that I've ever come across. The guy's one of the last people to be named as a racist. We do have racists in this country. Donald Trump is not one of them. I'm sorry. And hey, there may be some in Congress, but I can almost guarantee you that if they are, they're all Democrats. I mean, it's Joe Biden that said, well, poor kids are just as smart as white kids. What? If you ain't voting for me, then you ain't black. If that doesn't come from a racist mindset, I don't know what does. But let's get into it. President Joe Biden called out Republicans in Congress as the party of chaos and division and said they are worse than Strom Thurmond. a former South Carolina senator who ran for president as a segregationist in 1948. I've been a senator since 1972. That's a long time. That's a really long time. As a matter of fact, that's 52 years. That's 52 years. That's also funny, now that I think about it. He said, I've been a senator since 1972. No, Joe. You're the president of the United States. You haven't been a senator since what? 2008? That's dang on 16 years. Okay. I've served with real racists in the Democratic Party. I've served with Strom Thurmond. I've served with all these guys that have set terrible records on race. But guess what? These guys are worse. These guys do not believe in basic democratic principles. Yes, they believe in the principles of our republic because we're a republic and they are Republicans. Yeah, we don't want your democracy, Joe. We don't want the mainstream narrative machine being subsidized by the damn government and funded and paid for and forced to lie to everybody constantly. No, we don't want your democracy, your intelligence arm talking to social media platforms, silencing Republican voices online. No, we don't want your democracy. Your democracy is turning into a communist regime, Joe. We're trying to relieve the debt of all these student loans, going against the court system, persecuting your political rivals, locking up people that didn't do anything wrong just because they were at the Capitol on January 6th. Some of these people are still sitting in jail with no trial date. Yeah, if that's what your democracy is, I don't want nothing to do with it. These guys do not believe in basic democratic principles. Biden said at a fundraiser in San Francisco on Wednesday, according to The Pool traveling with him. Time and again, Republicans show they are the party of chaos and division. Yeah, because we don't want your communist dictatorship, Joe. Biden's comments come as Republicans in Congress are holding still a foreign aid package that would send aid to Ukraine and Israel. Yeah, because we don't want to fund foreign wars, Joe. It's morally wrong to fund a foreign war like that, especially if you're not trying to stop the fighting. The $95.3 billion foreign aid bill, which was passed by the Senate last week, still faces a showdown in the House as House Speaker Mike Johnson has told House Republican conference members that he is not rushing to respond to the bill. Johnson responded to Biden's comments on X saying, "Outrageous. The least popular president to seek re-election is now so desperate and so underwater in the polls, he's playing the race card from the bottom of the deck." Woo! Thank you, Mike Johnson. Yes, you're right. That's what Democrats do when they don't have an argument, when they're getting beat up in any debate or anything. They just throw out the race card. Oh, well, you're a bigot and a racist. That's all they do. They love to do that for some reason. I don't get it. How the hell can you claim somebody to be a racist if you don't even know them? You don't know most of those people in the Republican conference, right? So how can you say they're racist? Because they're not funding your foreign aid bills? That's why they're racists? You can come up with something better than that, Joe. But this is the good part. Biden has faced criticism in the past for his comments about some senators who supported segregation. He spoke at a tribute for Thurmond's 90th birthday in 1993, where he praised him by comparing the former South Carolina senator to Confederate General Robert E. Lee. Now, if that's not CNN burning Biden, I don't know what is. Now, you might be thinking, well, how is that praise? Comparing him to Robert E. Lee. Well, you got to get the context of the speech, right? But Robert E. Lee, he may have been on the wrong side of that war because, once again, you look back in history and, just so happens all the good guys always win. Wonder why that is. Yeah, history is written by the victors, right? So, of course, Robert E. Lee is going to be portrayed in a bad light. However, Robert E. Lee, you can't say that Robert E. Lee wasn't a good general. For God's sakes, the South almost won the Civil War. They marched all the way up to Washington and said, you know, we don't want to take over. We're just going to go back home. We win. And that's when the Union troops regrouped and beat the ever-living shit out of the South. Which there are some people that are still butthurt about that. You know, hey, get over it. I live in deep southwest Louisiana. Sorry. So, yeah, I would have been right there with them. But, you know, we got our asses handed to us, essentially. And for good reason. I mean, the Civil War wasn't completely about slavery. That was a very big component of it, but it wasn't totally about that. You know, they had a lot of libertarians back then, states' rights people. You know, Nikki Haley was kind of correct. She didn't say it right, but yeah, for the most part, it was about slavery, ending slavery, the Emancipation Proclamation, and all that. But that is a big rip. I mean, he's going to say, oh, they're worse than this guy, and yet Joe Biden praised this guy back in 1993. But, well, I mean, we could sit here and show clip after clip after clip of stuff Joe Biden said in the past that he says, oh, he's never felt that way. Like with the gay marriage thing, like that little story he tells about him sitting in the car with his dad, and he's like, Joe, they love each other. That's it. No, I'm sorry. That never happened. Let's keep going, though. At an earlier fundraiser on Wednesday, Biden called Russian President Vladimir Putin a crazy SOB, according to the pool reporters traveling with the president. We have a crazy SOB, that guy, Putin, others. And we have to be worried about a nuclear conflict. Yeah, that's because you continue to try to continually fund the opposition that Putin's fighting over there. Yeah. You push Putin into a corner, of course he's going to do that. But guess what? You go over there and negotiate with Putin, tell Zelensky, hey, look, you might have to make some concessions here, and you might just be able to work out some sort of a deal where nobody has to be worried about an existential crisis of nuclear bombs dropping on your damn head. No, but they don't want that. They want to fight Putin to the very end. And what does that mean? The destruction of Ukraine. Yeah, they want to destroy Ukraine so we can pay companies like BlackRock and State Street and Vanguard to go back and rebuild so we can continue our liberal order, our world economic order, our liberal, our... Yes, you know exactly what I mean. But the existential threat to humanity is climate, Biden told those gathered at the fundraiser. No, we've already went over this. The climate is a very slow changing and slowly progressing problem that we can fix. And it's another thing, it's something I thought of too. You know, sorry, tangent news, but do these people really believe, like, if we were to just stop burning all fossil fuels, just boom. You know, like I've said, millions of people die and everybody's way of life is ruined. We jump back to medieval times, essentially. But do you think that if that just happens, that all the carbon dioxide and all the pollutants that we've put in the air is just going to stop? No, it's still going to be there. And we're still going to have a problem. So we're still going to have to retroactively fix this problem. So let's innovate our way into it. Sorry for that. Let's keep going. The president also criticized Trump comments likening his legal troubles to the death of Russian opposition leader and Kremlin critic Alexei Navalny. He's comparing himself to Navalny and saying that because our country's become a communist country, it has. It's slowly getting there. I mean, Jesus Christ, we have a communist arm of the Democratic Party. He was persecuted just like Navalny was persecuted.
Where the hell does he come from? Biden said, according to the reporters in the room. If I stood here 10 to 15 years ago and said all this, you'd think I should be committed. It's astounding. Right. Let's take the time travel test, right? Biden just laid it out for everybody right there. You go back 10 or 15 years and say that we're going to have a guy with full-on dementia as the president, you'd be like, what? Just anything. Go back 10 or 15 years and say, oh, we'd have drag queen story hour for children in school libraries. You'd think somebody was insane. Go back 10 or 15 years and say, hey, they'll create an AI that is so racist, it refuses to create images of white people. Yeah, that's another story that if you're following the news, I'm sure you've heard about. Gemini. They're getting a lot of backlash for that one. But like I said, Tangent News, we're not trying to be Tangent News. We're trying to be the greatest news ever. Sorry, y'all, but y'all let me know what y'all think about all this down in the comment section. Is the media starting to turn on Biden? I mean, we're winning, right? It's clear to see we're winning. From all the news articles I've read today, oh man, we've got all kinds of stuff going on. We're winning, folks. Yeah, I saw another news article that's saying that the law passed in New York State allowing illegal migrants to vote was struck down by the courts. Yes, people are still logical out there, folks, and we need to group together and we need to kick this woke ideology BS out of our damn country. Freedom of speech all you want, but keep your damn ideas to yourself when it comes to stuff like that. That's what I say. Let me know what you say. That's all I got. Thanks for watching, everybody. And y'all try to have a good one and be positive. Peace.